If men only want one thing, what is it? What would you do if you had a clone? What can money not buy? Natural boobs. It can't bring my cat back from the dead. No, but you can clone it. Basically the same thing. My belly button fluff. What can we pay for that fluff? The satisfaction that comes from nuclear annihilation. Money. Currency trading exists. KFC bucket full of 9,000 different types of living insects. Me a date. What did you falsely believe as a kid? I watched a lot of Wallace and Gromit and actually thought the moon was made of cheese. That the Bermuda Triangle was way more deadly than it is. My stepdad was in the Navy and had a cruise that went through it. I was legitimately afraid his ship would be sunk and no trace ever found. I used to see the signs around stores that said shoplifters will be prosecuted. I didn't know what shoplifting meant. I figured it was like weightlifting with the entire store building as the weight. I pictured big, burly, bald men that like to go around heavy store buildings overhead grunting and red face. I was afraid someone would try to do it while we were out shopping. I once pointed out some big, muscular guy in a store and whispered to my mother that he must be one of those shoplifters. She shushed me. I thought teachers lived at the school. That the guard in every mall will arrest a loud child. Shadows had to be made of something, right? You could see them. Therefore, they had to be made of stuff. Flawless logic. I vaguely remember picking at the edge of one trying to peel it off. That there was a horrible monster growling all night outside in the dark beyond my room. It was my dad snoring. Bro, did you ever tell your dad this? It all got solved eventually. As I remember, it took a while before I had the guts to address the monster problem, though. Who's your favorite fictional couple? Me. Me and my girlfriend. Frodo and Sam. Fry and Leela. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy. Olive's parents from Easy A. Homer and Marge Simpson. Vegeta and Bulma. People who are ugly. What is one of the benefits of being ugly? You feel like a ninja. No one notices you. People leave me alone more. I can walk alone at night in the dark and not worry about getting attacked. I'm female, and I know that no guy is prowling for this. You get to see the real side of people. People won't find a need to act to get in your good books, so you can see when an asshole is an asshole. Unless you're rich, you can be sure people will love you for who you are. The battery on my phone lasts for a very long period. Ask your mom. What's the hottest accent and why? Scottish. I don't want to comprehend a single word while you are flirting with me. Aussie mate. Yeah, f***ing right. Has no one heard of Idris Elba? Lord, the Brits have me locked in. Just came here to see how low German accent is. Was not disappointed. Russians, they always sound serious and angry about literally anything they're talking about. Like, they'll say, please take off your pants. And you gotta listen to them because you're afraid they're gonna slit your throat with a broken Smirnoff vodka bottle and mix your blood with their next bottle. Any accent can made to be hot, so long as the individual has consumed a pepper of some sort. The Bell variety has been eliminated for obvious reasons. Irish, because it's f***ing hot. F***ing hot! What's the best TV series of all time? Our Planet, narrated by David Attenborough. Years ago, you would have seen Game of Thrones far more frequently in this thread. Alas, the ball was dropped hard in its last couple seasons. Not the best TV series of all time. That was literally the question, then why are you still answering? But the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development are up there with the best 3 seasons of any of the shows mentioned here. The Sopranos. Fleabag. It's a short 2 seasons of 6 episodes each, but it is flawlessly executed with not a single moment wasted. A strange creation for TV where largest is usually the norm. It might be more comparable to a brilliant movie or even a play. It was after all adapted from a one-woman show. It's just art. Malcolm in the Middle. Really loved the prequel to Breaking Bad. Golden Age Simpsons. It's not even close. Reply with your drink of choice and bartender will tell you what it says about you. What is your drink? Vodka cranberry. Urinary tract infection. I don't make the rules. Chocolate milk, shaken, not stirred. Chocolate milk. The rich man's milk. Sir, can I see your ID? Gin and tonic. My grandmother used to drink gin and tonics. When I asked her why, she said, no matter where you go, it's pretty hard for someone to f*** that up. Cheapest beer on tap. A dying breed, possibly a working class hero. Amaretto sour. You probably are the one to hold your friend's hair back when they're picking at the end of their night. I'm gonna assume that says, oh yeah. Edit, puking. Lol, I swear I'm only a few rounds deep. Double shot of whiskey, neat, and a water please. This is not your first rodeo. Tequila sunrise. Why do you love headaches? What can you buy for $1 in your country? 1 kilo mango. Ramen. Hope and disappointment in the form of a lottery ticket. What can you buy in your country for $1? 1 pound. A lollipop. Edit, 6 lollipops. My work is worth 23 lollipops per hour. That's disheartening. 12 minutes on a parking meter. A can of beans? Maybe. On sale. A load of clean laundry. Correction, a load of clean, wet laundry. What is the weirdest or creepiest experience you or someone you know has ever had with a telephone or a mobile phone? My husband and I had gone shopping, and when we pulled in our driveway, a sheriff was there, and we asked if we could help him. He asked if anyone was in there, meaning in the house, and my husband said there better not be. We checked the house and nobody was in there, but while we were looking, the sheriff told us our phone number had called 911 several times and hung up, so he was sent to check it out. Ooh, me, I do not like this one. Not as spooky as some of these comments, but back in middle school when the movie The Ring had just come out, I was watching it at my best friend's house. We always watch movies in the creepy basement downstairs that gave me the creeps on a normal day. We were sitting in the dark and just saw the scene in the movie where the creepy haunted tape is played and the phone starts to ring in the movie. At the exact same time, her phone rang. If you hadn't seen the movie, the phone rings and on the other end of the line, it's a terrifying girl's voice that says 7 days, meaning you have 7 days until you die. I made her answer the phone. Her house, her phone. It was her brother's friend. He wasn't in the house and had no idea what we were doing, so it was just a super creepy coincidence. I was ringing my fiance after work once, and halfway through the call, the audio randomly switched to someone else's call. Some roofer discussing quotes with a client. They were talking to each other fine. Couldn't hear me. I could only hear the roofer, and my fiance only got silence. I had no idea mobile phones could get cross connections. It really freaked me out at the time. My friend called me in a panic once. When I picked up, they asked if I was safe, if I'm by myself, etc., and sounded pretty worked up. I asked what was wrong, and they said that someone had called them using my number. But it was an older man saying really strange, incomprehensible things about how I was unsafe and that they needed to pay for my safety. Apparently, it was some sort of common scam, but still it shook me up. Like 20 years ago, I was living alone in my first apartment. One morning, I woke up to my alarm going off, and like 1 second after my cell phone rang, my landline phone rang and my computer turned itself on, all at the exact same time. I just sat there in my bed, fumbling after my phone for a second, and then both phones stopped ringing. Computer stayed on though, and I shut off my alarm. No missed call on my phone. I wrote it off like some weird circumstance with a power surge involved or whatever, but the more I think of it, I can't explain it. What is your worst experience on an airplane? An old lady died in the seat next to me. She was shivering with a blanket on, and then she had a hot tea. A few minutes later, she spilled the tea and was no longer shivering. The airline gave me a boatload of air miles for my sharing space with a corpse inconvenience. You know, they don't officially consider someone dead until it's declared by a doctor or a paramedic. They didn't tell any other passengers. Not that they needed to, just me and the flight crew knew she was gone. On a flight from Paris to NYC, a kid about 3 years old kicked the back of my seat the whole time, only stopping for naps. Nicolette was her name. Ah, Nicolette, you are going to get a fist to the throat, you bitch. When I was about 11, my family was flying from Windhoek to Frankfurt, about a 12-hour flight. I was sitting next to my brother, 12, and he was sleeping. I was reading a book or something. All of a sudden, my brother startles awake and projectile vomits all over everything. My clothes, hair, the seat in front of us, our carry-ons that were at our feet, himself, everything. We were about 3 hours into the flight, so we had 9 hours to go. I didn't have a change of clothes in my carry-on, so I had to sit in the vomit-soaked clothes with my vomit-covered luggage for the rest of the flight. My brother definitely had it worse. He had food poisoning and was throwing up in the airplane bathroom for the rest of the trip. They had to take him off the flight in a wheelchair and take him straight to a medical ward where he was given IVs for a couple hours, and we missed our connecting flight. Our poor mom had to pay $2,000 for tickets for a new flight. Woman in front of me kept complaining how bad she had to pee, and a few minutes later, it smelled straight up like cat pee throughout the entire plane. She peed in a Coke can and spilled it all over the floor and laughed about it the entire plane ride. Oh yeah, this happened at the beginning of the flight. Why would you not just get up and go pee? That's disgusting. I was sandwiched between two very large people that took half of my seat. They were breathing so loud and kept farting. Men of Reddit, what's the creepiest thing a woman has ever said to you? I went to a restaurant with my friend Jordan one time this year, and this random, like, 50-year-old woman came up to me and complimented my eyes, and like, I wasn't looking at her at all. It was just so weird. It was very creepy. She told me she would rather kill me and then herself than see me with someone else. So since you're still alive, how long have y'all been together now? I want to have your ADHD-infested children. At a bar, a woman a good 20 years older than me walked up from behind me, ran her hands through my hair and said, "I'm a dominatrix." Sorry, I'm more of an Autobot person. A woman I matched with on Tinder told me she likes to kill animals, and then asked to meet me in the middle of the woods. I figured that might be a red flag, so unmatched and never went back to Tinder. Swiped left so hard, Tinder uninstalled. I'm like really submissive. Like, I let a guy shit in my mouth once, and I didn't even like him that much. For context, it was our second and last date. I worked at a fast food place years ago. My girlfriend came in for a milkshake and was waiting at the end of the counter with one of our regulars. Doris, the regular, was near 90 years old and had invited me home to have pot roast at her house multiple times. I was being a pain and put about a foot of whipped cream over the top of the lid of my girlfriend's milkshake and brought it to her. Doris looked at her, then looked at me deadpan and said, "I wish you'd cream me like that." Doris never ordered desserts. Edit, added a much needed space. "You're so cute. I want to break into your room, kill you, and stuff you so that we can be together forever." I started locking the doors religiously afterwards. What's something from the early days of the internet which younger generations may not know about? The need to set a good away message on AIM, since it may be up for over a day before you can get back on. Under construction, banners, images, and GIFs. They were on every page. The page was always under construction. You'd put one there while you were writing the HTML and then take it out when the final version was done. But way too many people never bothered with that step. Visitor counters and guest books, I almost always left a message. Before it was all corporate, so many homemade pages for an interest you could think of. I don't mean MySpace or Tumblr either. Crappy HTML blinking graphics, instrumental music in the background. I met one of my oldest online friends in 1997 through a site he made of our favorite band. We were email pen pals before social media was a thing. Waiting for an hour for an image to download, line by line. ICQ, AIM, and MSN. Hi, ASL, 35M, MN. You? Or the most popular one, 18F Cali. Lol. lol. Downloading a song from LimeWire and then going to listen to it, and then you hear, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I used to keep a magazine beside the computer so I could read something while waiting for a webpage to load. Who is your example of, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain? Scott does Minecraft. Hey. Jim Jones. He originally stood up for civil rights when it was really unpopular, was hospitalized and accidentally placed in the black ward. When the doctors found out, they tried to move him, but he refused. Then he became a cult leader and used his power and influence to end the lives of 1,000 people. Working in restaurant kitchens, you either burn out young or become the boss that everyone hates. There's exceptions, but that's usually the rule. My dad used to annoy me by calling my Pokemon cards Pokemans. Now my kids have them and I do the same thing and it annoys the shit out of them. Edit. Thanks for the Pokemon gold. Bill Cosby was once nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Also, the Emmys gave him a humanitarian award. Also, the President Medal of Freedom. I want to see a villain that lived long enough to become the hero because that's far more interesting. Ellen DeGeneres. What was okay 10 years ago, but today is not? My lower back. Coughing. Used to cough to stifle a fart. Now I'd rather shit myself. Now we fart to distract from our coughs. Just here to remind everyone that 10 years ago was 2012. Mail arriving at its destination in 3 to 5 days. Naming your daughter Isis. Or naming her Alexa. Or Karen. Not you. Turn off. Thank you. Rooting for Jared from Subway. Harambe. Edit. Holy moly, thanks for the awards. Out. Redditors. What's something the internet was crazy about but is now forgotten? AOL chat rooms. ASL. Poking on Facebook. Spinning under construction gifs on our website. The dancing baby gifs. One of the earliest memes I ever saw. Ooga chaka. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Chuck Norris jokes. Neopets. Oh, I love Neopets so much. Neon Cat. Who would make a perfect female president of the United States of America and why? Anybody smart enough to deserve the job isn't stupid enough to take the job. Anyone who wants to be president should never be allowed to be president. The mom from Malcolm in the Middle. That sense of authority, fear, and emotional deception she was capable of would make her a great president not to f*** with. My mom. She whipped this whole country into shape and have everyone in bed by 9:30. Dolly Parton. Everyone likes Dolly. My dog. She's a good girl. Treats for everyone. The girl reading this. Winky face. Lisa Simpson. What's one thing you'll never do no matter what? Climb Everest. I'm almost finished with Into Thin Air. All I could think about as I read about the descent was nope, not doing that. And why would anyone do that? Spelunking. F*** that. I have pretty bad claustrophobia and doing that would make me combust. Cave diving. Just how strong of a death wish can someone actually have? People die constantly doing it on dry land and you're gonna add scuba gear to the and water to the mix? Absolutely fucking not. That. But you would do anything for love, I assume. Except that, yeah. Bungee jumping. Let me guess. A broken rubber brought you into this world and a broken rubber can take you out? Edit. Spelling. Stop at red lights in GTA. Give you up. Die drowning. That's my worst nightmare. I don't think that's your choice, my dude. Nah, he'll live drowning. You are held at gunpoint and your kidnappers will not kill you if you can speak about a topic for 30 minutes straight. What are you talking about? Numbers. I mean, there must be hundreds of them to talk about. 1, 7, 83, edit. 4. Best number is 73. 73 is the 21st prime number, its mirror, 37, is the 12th, and its mirror, 21, is the product of multiplying, hang on to your hats, 7 and 3. But in binary, 73 is a palindrome, 1001001, which is backwards is 1001001. Exactly the same. Broad topic, animals, specific topic, frogs. I like the way you think. Frogs are one of my favorite animals. They are 80% mouth. Snakes are just a bag of throat. I'd give him a very convincing 30-minute lecture on why he should kill me. And the final, most compelling argument in this, it's only been 29 minutes and 58 seconds. My anxiety. Gotta take advantage of this free therapy session. Oh, come on. That's me. That's me. They better be prepared for an hour of nerd ramblings if they don't shoot me first. My fan fiction. They might shoot you right away. Among Us lore. In the beginning, there was sauce. What's something that would be 100% better if it was slightly shorter? Unskippable ads on YouTube. Average work hours. Lines at any amusement park. Colds. Kevin Hart. He would have so much more material. Technically, he'd have less material. Saturday Night Live skits. The amount of time I spend every night in existential crisis mode before I finally fall asleep. What's the best response to, I hate you? So anyways, I'm gonna need you to come in on Saturday. Okay, I know. Kiss. I hate me too, but I don't complain about it. I never thought about you at all. You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. Sounds like a you issue. Which fictional character's death hit you hard? Wow. Well, scrolling through this post is quite risky. Brooks and Tommy in Shawshank Redemption, they're both so tragic. Brooks was here. Sobs. Littlefoot's mom. My first actual confrontation with death as a child. Really screwed with me, or so my mom says. Charlotte in the original version of Charlotte's Web. The dog in I Am Legend. Sirius Black. Cried while reading the book and watching the movie. Dobby from Harry Potter. He didn't even need to die. What a pointless death to such a lovely creature. Bambi's mom. What's the grossest thing you've ever seen at a stranger's house? house. I used to work for a furniture company doing deliveries and sometimes repos. As a rule of thumb, if you're doing a repo, the house you're about to go in is usually nasty as hell. The one that sticks out in memory was no exception. It was more of a compound of 2 or 3 cracked dens, rotten saggy floors, roof falling in, just fucking nasty. We had to repossess a stove they had bought maybe a month before, and in that short time, it had become caked with grease and infested with roaches. When we got it back to the store, the manager told us to put it out back, as in outside, because he didn't want the store to become infested. A week or two later, a couple that refurbished old appliances came in and bought it for $20. I went to a friend's house so he could do some work on my car. After we finished, hours later, I really needed to pee, so I asked him if I could use his restroom prior to driving home. He seemed hesitant at first, but finally said yes. I regret ever asking. They were full-on hoarder family. There was barely enough room to walk in the front door to the bathroom, and once in the bathroom, literally just the toilet bowl was visible. I pretended to pee and hightailed it out of there and peed at the gas station up the street. A thick sheet of mold under the fridge, so thick I thought it was a rug. Someone whose house I was working in told us they don't flush the toilet until it's full. They weren't lying. I walked into a new friend's apartment for the first time, and turns out they were like a hardcore hoarder. The stench was just fucking the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life, and he did not seem to have a problem with it at all. One of the nicest people I've ever met to this day, but man, that was such a shock. We lost touch over the years, but I heard he got help and is now married with 2 kids living on the East Coast. At least this one was a happy ending. Yeah, he was a super good dude, just had some demons. This dude had a bucket by his sofa that he would just spit in. Ugh, just thinking back to it now makes me boke. It was disgusting. Once while using my friend's bathroom, I saw a portrait they hung that was the most horrifyingly disgusting misshaped person I've ever seen. He hung it right above the sink, so you had to look at it while you washed up. What's a phrase you're sick of hearing? I worked in offices for years, so going forward makes my eyes twitch now. Giving time back when ending a meeting 2 minutes early. I'm giving you the gift of time today. Why, thank you for 7 minutes. You'll find someone when the time is right. When is that damn time? When it's right, duh. 3:15. Both hands pointing right. We need to normalize. Tell me without telling me. One more time for the people in the back. I was today years old. Didn't ask. It's just becoming annoying now. Didn't ask. I'm sorry, it was too perfect. Didn't ask. I love didn't ask. Plus ratio. Plus person outsold. What's the scariest thing you've woken up to in the middle of the night? My grandmother just standing there in the dark by my bed, quietly wringing her hands and staring at. Centipede crawling on my face. I still shiver thinking about it when that happened. Cat dropping a giant spider on my chest, then giant spider disappearing in my panic. My wife sitting straight up out of bed and screaming while pointing down the hallway. She talks in her sleep. Usually it's hilarious. This time, it was not. I saw my stuffed animal leave the room. I woke up to use the restroom, got up, smack. Something smacked the fuck out of me. Turns out my entire freaking arm was asleep, and I got up, and the motion just launched it into my face. Almost didn't have to go to the bathroom afterwards. Why are you hitting yourself? A mountain lion purring behind my head through the fabric of the tent. Mountain lion was found as a kitten, raised by people, and released back to the wild. Now it just roams the night looking for human to be near. Then it purrs. How do you feel when you're nude? Like I need pockets. Cold. Fat. I also feel fat, and I'm in good shape. But I was once a fat kid, and that mentality got branded forever. I feel that one big time. Once a fat kid, always a fat kid. Still though, love yourself. Good man. I swing my dong. I feel with my whole body, but my fingertips are still used most, nude or not. How do you feel? Sometimes I use my toes. My boobs. I squeeze them like stress balls. Anybody else hoping they're a guy? Tired, but I feel that while dressed too. Like one of those hairless cats. What is a lot more dangerous than people think? Playing the, well, my alarm turned off, but I just want to rest my eyes for a bit game. Pigs. They look slow and fat. Saw a guy nearly get killed by a pig. First rule for working with pigs, don't fall over in front of them. Also, pig bites hurt. Reddit advice. Sitting for long periods of time. What would you do if you had a clone? First of all, I'd clarify which one of the two is really the clone. Get enough jobs so we didn't have to worry about money. I'd swap out each shift. I take this one, they get the next. Half the workload, same amount of money, twice as much time for everything else. Twice the expenses too though. Play a ton of board games. Make him go to work for me. What makes you think your clone would do that? My clone would tell me to f off. Why is everyone acting like a clone is a robot who will do whatever you say? Use him for spare parts. Massage my back. I'll finally have someone who knows how to do it and where I need it most. If men only want one thing, what is it? Someone to discuss most profound thoughts. That sexy lava lamp. Damn. Love and clear communication. No double standard, please. That's 2 things. Love and clear communication. To dig a big hole at the beach. To be left alone. I have no idea, but I hear it's disgusting. The Krabby Patty secret formula. What's a movie you saw way too young? Gremlins. I remember being terrified once they'd been fed after midnight. I have no memory of the screaming night terror I had in my sleep, but despite extensive cleaning by my mom, the bedroom still smelled of my vomit in the morning. Same movie for me. Saw it in theater as one of the first in-theater movies. Was terrified of the bathtub for weeks. The Exorcist. I was 19 when I saw The Exorcist and I was still too young. The Ring. I still am so frightened to walk past the TV at night. I've seen Scary Movie 3, The Grudge, all the Ring movies many times as an adult. Super cheesy. And I'm not afraid of any of the other movies or anything, but I'm still ducking terrified of the girl from the original Ring. Jaws. How long did it take you to swim in the ocean after that? The ocean. It took me a couple of years to get in a swimming pool. I'm still scared of swimming in the ocean. Silence of the Lambs. To this day, I can't see those words without making the Anthony Hopkins tongue noise in my head. Same. Homesick from school one day, old enough to be home alone, but way too young to be watching How to Sew a Skin Suit. My mom took me to to the theater to see Halloween in 1978. I was 6. Then in 1980, she took me to see Don't Answer the Phone when I was 8. Your mom was playing the desensitization game. Saw when I was like 6 or 7. Saw what? What did you see? Dad? Father? What's the dumbest lyrics in history? England is my city. She's not a lesbian. For P, she turned Pesbian. Singing about all women who are sexually attracted. Pez dispensers, I see. Girl, I know your favorite beer, cause you told me and I bought it. Chris Lane. That's kinda him. Who said romance was dead? These answers are gonna end up on an AI-generated text-to-speech TikTok video with Subway Surfers playing in the background. Just for that, I'm almost certain that the editor is not gonna put Subway Surfers on this video. You know, we do other stuff like Temple Run and Spider-Man, maybe Minecraft. I don't know. I just work here. I was a geisha when he was a samurai. Somehow I understood him even though he spoke Thai. Nicki Minaj. Okay. Nicki Minaj. Thank you very much. I think I lost a few brain cells reading this. Thanks, Nikki. They call her Big Booty cause she got a big booty. Riveting. I'm in the kitchen. Yams everywhere. I'm afraid of the dark, especially when I'm in a park and no one else is around. Ooh, I get the shivers. I don't want to see a ghost. It's a sight that I fear most. I'd rather have a piece of toast and watch the evening news. Desiree, life. This sounds like the kind of poem I would try to write when I was a little kid. Like, it sounds like a 3rd grade writing assignment to write a Halloween poem or something. What is your strongest opinion that's not political, religious, or moral? Pokemon is the greatest video game franchise of all time. Pineapple does not belong on pizza. Radio ads that have honking horns or sirens should be illegal, as should billboards. If I buy a car, I want to own it without paying a subscription to use the radio or heated steering wheel. Ads with the skip button are more effective than ones without. If an ad has a skip button, you can choose whenever you're interested in said product or not. This proves more clear info to advertisers too. An unskippable ad makes a person associate the company with a negative experience, therefore downgrading the company. People should learn that saying, I don't know, is a perfectly acceptable thing to say and very often the most accurate. It's much more important to be predictable on the road than polite. When it is your turn, go. It's not a real meeting if there's no agenda. Plans are useless, but planning is essential. Failure to plan is planning to fail. What are some behaviors that scream unintelligence? Obsessively telling everybody how intelligent you are. Do I need to remind you of my IQ from that Facebook quiz again? Getting angry when someone asks them to explain their point. Bonus if they say, do your own research. I just started driving for Uber XL. The amount of people who think they can fit 8 people with all their luggage into a mid-size SUV is astonishing. You can see which car comes to pick you up and it says it fits 5 people. If you have a piece of luggage each, then it's more like 3 people. I had one group sit there and stare me down like they didn't understand. I swear some people just have mental limit for figuring things out and they all find each other and never get anywhere. Telling people that you are a member of Mensa at every opportunity. What the hell is Mensa? Hold on, I'm Googling this. High IQ society? Oh, go f yourself. Calling names in an argument. Well, you're a poopy head. Nah, son, you're the poopy head. Ugh, you're a poopy butthole head. Thinking saying no is mean, or that no means yes. Is this being unintelligent or just being shitty? Pooping in the aisles at Walmart. Your username is now a store. What do you sell? Well, as I am Says Mason on every social media platform except Twitter, which is Says Mason Live, I would sell advice. Not fences, I'll tell you that much. Thank you, username Never Fence. Sounds like something a fence store would say. I see right through your charade. Nothing at all. So, NFTs? Not f***ing things. Non-functional testicles was the best kind of testicles. Coffee for your enemies. Username Deathspresso. Benny Benjamin says Bennies and Benjamins. You need to find a Jerry. Jeremy, and Jeremiah is what they need. Teeth from a Stegosaurus. Guaranteed no Triceratops. Reddit username Whale Cocks. Boy, do I have a product for you. Is it fun for the whole family? Fun for the whale family. Oh, that's disgusting. Wind. For free. Now that's a great price. What's something that you like that the vast majority of people hate? Lime cucumber Gatorade. I think it's my favorite flavor. I love untangling things. Your Christmas lights end up in a ball and there's no telling where it starts or ends? Give. Got a necklace that got rolled up into a total mess? I'm your detangler. Headphones come out of your pocket looking like a tangela? No problem. Total zen for me. Wish I could make a few bucks with it though. People that talk a lot, so I don't need to. I like listening to them and I find their energy refreshing. Everything about the airport. I don't know why, but it's so fascinating. Honestly, I like it more than the trip sometimes. Apparently, a lot of people don't like the lemon yellow Starburst candy, and that's the one I prefer. I'm a big citrus guy myself. I prefer the yellow Starburst. It's good. Doing the dishes. I find it so calming. Hey, you free later? Wrapping presents. It's super therapeutic and relaxing to me. I'll wrap everyone's presents in the house, even the ones that they have to give to other people. If everyone would just get off my dick about it, mother, and let me take my time, I'd love it. I did it for Macy's one Christmas Christmas and learned how to do it. Every edge and fold is clean, and the bows are majestic as heck. And I still do my own that way, but my mom will ask me to wrap something for her and then stand there and tell me I'm so slow, and it doesn't have to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. Ma'am, you asked me because you know I'm good at it. If it takes 5 minutes, that's how long it takes. Using my blinker. If you had a chance to rename the letter W from W to something else, what would it be? Double V! It's literally 2 V's. So let's see what else everyone else has to say. Wumbo. Double V. Based. W. Thought they said you were changing the name. B. That's short. Easy to say and understand. Wobble do. Up M. Down M. Flip M. What popular sayings are bullshit? Cheaters never win. What goes around comes around. Bullshit. I've seen people be dicks my entire life. I'm 57, and they never got what should have come around to them. Karma is a self-soothing concept, a way to not feel powerless. Out of sight, out of mind. Ever lost track of a spider? Lightning never strikes the same place twice. The early bird gets the worm. No, the early bird gets stuck waiting in line with everyone else who decided to be the early bird as well. Early worm gets eaten, and the second mouse gets the cheese. Black cats bring bad luck. Yeah, they're just adorable little fluff balls that want love too. Rules are meant to be broken. They were made for literally the opposite. What is the worst thing that a person can put on their bio on a dating app? No face pic until I know you don't know my husband or wife. I've seen this multiple times. Alternative bio, I'm either cheating or trying to cheat. Entertain me. No. If you want to see someone jump through unnecessary hoops to impress you, the circus isn't always an option. A list of 10 plus requirements for a partner while they themselves don't even have their together. Looking to lick feet. Saw that one time. Gotta appreciate the upfrontness, I suppose. States what they're seeking. No bullshit. Wish more people were like that, TBH. The part where you insult people by rambling off a list of who must swipe left or face your wrath. Swipe left. Move along. Anytime I see those, I just swipe left anyway, even if I don't meet the criteria. It's such a pretentious way to filter people. I mean, the only one I have like that on my Tinder bio is no Republicans or anti-vaxxers. I mean, same thing. I'm a good guy. No, you're not. You're not a good guy. Literally anything I put on mine, apparently, I can't even get a bite from a bot. Hey, BB, you're hot. Message me for pics or to video chat. Free live shows at this is not a bot. I'm a real girl. I got unmatched by a bot, still considering it one of my greatest achievements. What is a fun fact about yourself? Fun fact about me, personally, is that I'm in the process of creating a fake Pokemon region from scratch with over like 120 or so drafted up Pokemon that I'm commissioning artists to make, and then I have like the whole story and like a whole map and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. But let's see what these guys have to say. I can write cursive backwards and can write with both hands. I'm sure I can print backwards as well, but that's too easy. Jumped off a moving train on a dare when I was 8. I did the same, but I was 23. Very stupid idea. Friend of mine did that in high school, slipped, train cut his leg off way above the knee. Ugh. I got an exorcism a few months ago. I have cheated death twice. The first time I was in a really bad car accident, bled out and died on scene, still managed to come back 5 minutes later. This incident actually made me smarter than I was before due to brain damage. The second time, I got shot in the chest with a mortar on July 4th this year. I miraculously walked away without any damages to my body. What a rush. I got eye surgery because I was seeing double, went well, and now I see better. So now you see triple. I once visited Paris as a tourist and cried walking down the street because I was fat. This fact is not fun. Yeah, I could never go to Paris. Won a paper plane contest. I guess the opposition folded. Who is the biggest piece of shit on the earth in your opinion? My coworker, who is always quick to take credit for other people's work, and when confronted, talks about how he grew up in poverty and needs every advantage he can to make it in this world. He didn't grow up poor. His family had several maids. Whoever the invented pop-up ads. There was no competition on earth with more qualified candidates. Rupert Murdoch. My buddy Eric. Elephant shit, probably. That kid that climbed in the Cincinnati Zoo enclosure and got Harambe killed. Look, don't blame the kid. If anything, blame the parents for not watching the kid. Kids will be kids. What ruins a movie? When Chris Pratt is in it. When actors take a sip of their drink. Why do they all suck at it and make it look so bad? Loud explosions and quiet ass dialogue. Music louder than the dialogue too. Twist villains. Basically revealing that the bad guy in the last 10-15 minutes of the movie. Disney has gotten really bad with this. Unnecessary love interests when the plot has nothing to do with romance. Like I walked in to watch an action movie. I don't need a new character introduced halfway through just to give the character a girlfriend. Useless sex scenes unless it is something the story could revolve around. It's totally a drop for me. Same with unnecessary naked girl in 99% of horror movies. I thought I was becoming a prude until I realized that I'm sitting there waiting for the story to start again. No one is dying, although everyone is shooting. Fight scenes where I can barely tell what I'm looking at. What song is instantly recognizable by the first few words? It's been You Are My Fire, just a small town girl. Is this the real life? Hello darkness, my old friend. Ooka chaka, ooka chaka. Oh, what is love? I'm a Barbie girl. I don't know this one. Two Trailer Park Girls. I don't know the song. Crazy. First note of Mr. Brightside is immediately recognizable. Brag a little. What is the coolest thing you've done lately? I just passed passed my driving test and bought my first car. I'm 45 years old. I have a corgi, and when people ask to pet her, I tell them yes, but she doesn't usually like strangers. Then they are overjoyed when it turns out the dog loves them. Truth is, the dog loves everyone. My little cousin tried to shoot me with Nerf guns. I caught 3 and dodged the rest. I got one of the hottest girls I know's number. First time I got a girl's number. Saved a guy on his bike who was standing in the blind spot of a big truck. Truck was waiting in front of a traffic light to turn right. Bike was standing near passenger side. I ran in front of the truck, waving my hands. Truck stopped. Bike guy saved. Little hero feeling for the rest of the day. Hey, good on you, man. Tackled the guy who robbed a woman at gunpoint. What is the biggest unsolved mystery? Placebo effect. This is a minor miracle, and it's insane to me that it's glossed over so easily. You could literally be cured of an ailment just by convincing your brain that you took medication for it. AKA, our brains and beliefs can literally change our experience of reality fundamentally. How I can consistently be wide awake from 2 to 5 a.m. under perfect sleeping conditions, but then fall into a blissful sleep an hour before my alarm goes off for work. How do Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez both resemble Martin Sheen, yet look nothing alike? How is my girlfriend simultaneously completely unsure about what she wants to eat, totally confident that she doesn't want any of my suggestions? Where all my fucking pens keep disappearing to? Why my 2 cats fight over the same toy, but there are 2 of everything in our house for this reason? How moms can pull something out of the fridge that wasn't there when you looked in that exact spot? What does not belong in a swimming pool? Poop. A sinkhole. Nasty used band-aids. Hydrophobic people. Pikachu. Top 30 worst Pokemon to go swimming with. Number 25 will shock you. Literally. A lawnmower. Soggy bread. Why the do people bring bread to the pool? Because people like bread and are gross. And sandwiches. What is the dumbest thing an adult asked you? Seriously. I worked at a grocery store, or we had a 5-cent coupon if you brought in your own bag, and this lady asked for the tax on the coupon as well. What's your email address? Asked via email. I had to go take a lap around the building to prevent my brain from imploding. What is with you kids being so childish? I hope my kindergarten teacher was joking. My elder sister once asked me if cruise control allowed her to take her hands off the wheel. If evolution is true, then how come I don't wake up with antlers on my head? Will these fluorescent bulbs work at night? Of course. Why do you ask? Well, these are all marked daylight, and I really want to use the light at night. Do you think you got autism from licking walls coated in lead paint? Are you Scottish or British? Yesn't. British. Which dead singer would have the greatest farewell tour if we were able to resurrect them for one last ride? Freddie Mercury would be legendary. I didn't even finish reading the question before thinking Freddie Mercury, and seems like the universe is in agreement on that too. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury. Freddie M for the win. Freddie Mercury. Bob Marley. We could use some good vibes. Michael Jackson. Sadly, this is what killed him. Sorry, but Tupac would give a motherfucking show, tour all around the world, and it would be insane. What would you name your pet frog if you got one? The name's Pond. James Pond. Throg. Kermit. I think Jerome. Pepe. Moisty Toast. Soggy Bread. Ribbit Downey Jr. What's something you own a ridiculous amount of? Problems in every shape and color. Lego. Every relative gets me them for my birthday and Christmas. My first world problem is I have sets I haven't even opened yet. Condoms. I never get to use them. Notebooks that I'll never use and pens that no longer work. Hair all over the body. Mental illnesses. Gotta catch them all, am I right? Cables. There is an unspoken universal law. You will need a cable within a month if you throw it away. What is something you should never bring on a first date? Duct tape. My other girlfriends. Table for 4, please. This guy's got 3 girlfriends? I can't even get one. Your ex-boyfriend. Well, she didn't bring him along. However, we went on her suggestion to the restaurant that he works at. That was a tad awkward. Expectations. Your Pokemon cards. A magic wand and a chessboard. Your other personality. What family tradition ends with you? Children. I don't want children. I don't like them that much. 200 years of living in London. My kids will never be able to afford to rent or buy here. Having kids. I think that's just an end of the family. We conduct a barefoot run around the house at Christmas time, and the finisher's order determines the order in which we receive presents. Even though there are 20 of us, it was great when there were only 6 of us. I mean, the family ends with me, so I guess all of them. Haha, same. Shitty childhoods. Santa. He's not getting any more credit for my hard work. Video killed the radio star. What did the internet kill? Social skills. Privacy. Friendly conversation. Critical thinking. My faith in humanity. MTV. Or at least the kind that played actual music videos. The video star. Duh. Blockbuster. Brain cells. Brain cells. Human decency. What's the worst answer you wrote to a question you didn't know on an exam? It was a geography test, and the question was, why is it always raining in a certain area? My answer was, because the clouds are sad. I drew a sad cloud crying for visual support. I know a guy who took one look at tests, got up, put a $20 bill on the teacher's desk with an unfinished test, then proceeded to leave. He works at a car wash now. I wish I studied for this one. I couldn't figure out how to end an essay one time, so I just ended it with, that's the way it is. Teacher was not happy. Told me I wasn't Walter Cronkite. Drew a large bear over the question, and at the bottom wrote, cannot answer because there is a bear in the way. You're a genius. That's very clever. 42. I remember there was a gigantic math equation once, and it was the hardest question on the test, and we were given a ton of space for the answer. I wrote bruh as my answer. Everyone in class got that question wrong, by the way, so I felt like my answer was the most sensible. What's the most useless piece of advice you can give? If you ever drop your keys in lava, forget them, because man, they're gone. Jack Handy. You can't fail if you don't try. Get good. I disagree. When I was a kid, I knew someone who was complaining, so I told them to get good. That kid is Elon Musk. Never pet a flaming cat. Just tilt your head back and let the meat slide down your throat hole. What the hell? What? I see your mom pass down her party tricks. If your head ever gets like bitten by a shark, remember, do not put a tourniquet on your neck. You will hang yourself. Tip, breathe air, not water. Air provides oxygen, water does not. I don't know if I believe you if I'm honest. Just be happy. Wow, no one has ever thought of that. You can have any superpower you want. Which one do you choose? Teleportation. This is the one I want the most. Other people can be God and whatnot. I just want to instantly be anywhere I want to be. To reach into any picture or pause video and pull out or deposit an item within. Imagine watching, say, the Try channel and stealing lunch from them, then reloading the video when you get hungry. Being able to have my soul leave my body. I can go see others' dreams or go wherever I want without being seen. Just to read minds. Telling people what they want to hear if possible, or knowing their thought to have it ready to make a counter argument or something would make life a breeze. I always thought reading mine would be a burden. I don't want to hear something I didn't want to hear. Yeah, but every superpower has that drawback, but the good parts are worth it. Just to be superhuman. This includes everything from super speed, super strength, super senses, basically everything basic. What would be the most inconvenient, annoying thing to fill a piñata with? 100% glitter. Mayonnaise. My thoughts exactly. Existential dread. Baked beans. Sulfuric acid. Thumbtacks and cockroaches. Bees. Hornets and fiberglass. What's the polite way to tell a customer their card declined? I didn't know getting a card decline was embarrassing. Declined. They told me to cut the card up too. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. There is way too much money on this card. Our system can't handle it. Got any cash, you broke bitch? Yo, this don't work. And that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.